Welcome, Spurs fans, near and far. We're back with another episode. It's the Tottenham v Everton pre-match preview, and Connor has done me a favour and pleasure to step in again. Connor, since we last met, actually, I can say that since you've been gone, have you been? How's your club been doing?
I've been well. The club, not so much. The results, not so much. Off the pitch, not so much. But myself personally, I've been all right. Yeah, thank you.
No, fair play, fair play. Welcome. Look, we're going to dive in. Last time we met, we spoke, we kind of went in a bit more detail about Everton and what everything's been happening so far. But I don't think we don't really need to do that. What's been happening though? Like, let's talk through. Since the Spurs game, you guys have just seemed to be struggling, and I'm actually, it's quite weird because we were lucky to get that win. Any Spurs fan will tell you we were proper lucky, and then all of a sudden it's just started falling off. And I don't know if you just want to just share, what's been going on.
Yeah, I think I did a preview for our channel last night, so this is all very fresh in my mind. We beat Burnley, then played you in the Prem, and since we haven't been able to pick up a win in the Premier League, we've got a couple of good, I'm going to call the Villa 0-0 a good result. That's probably our best result in the Premier League. Obviously, we beat Palace in the FA Cup, but we also went on to lose against Luton in the FA Cup, so it's one of them. Fulham again, I think that was an all right result on the face of it, bearing in mind the squad. I think obviously the rumours came out that we've been breached again, and a potential second deduction came out. I think that took the sale out of it a bit. And the game against you, your ground, is a common theme, I feel, where where Fulham was the same the first time we played Fulham at Goodison, and we could have, and probably on the face of it, we could have beaten them the other day. I mean, they could have also beaten us. We both hit the woodwork. We should have had a penalty, I believe. Yeah. They were really hammering us. We were lucky to, keep them at bay at one point. But it's a matter of we're creating chances, but we're not having the players put them away. Which is coming back to bite us, and injuries as well. We were playing Dwight McNeil at centre mid against Fulham because we've got no other centre mids. It was him and James Garner, because Onana is still, he's got a knock, and I think Sean Dyche has said he's probably not going to be fit for this game. So unless Andre Gomez is better or Onana is, and Dyche is playing it down, I can see Dwight McNeil having to stay in the middle again, which is a bit of an ask.
It is an ask, and also because, I'm not being funny. I know that, in this day and age with the Prem, there's versatility in players, but Dwight McNeil is so effective on the wings, do you know what I mean, on the left-hand side, that do you really want a player like him in the middle of the park? The answer is no. I would rather bring in an academy centre mid than have Dwight McNeil playing, because you're losing your attack. And your attack is based on hit the ball down the left, hit the ball down the right, cross it in, and hopefully one of your lads will head the ball in. And if you ain't got one of your best crossers of the ball on the wing, then it's a bit of a disaster. So I didn't realise that Everton had so many injuries. And then on the other hand, the flip side of things is we are more stronger than we were when we played you the first time round. Because I swear it was Ben Davis, maybe Romero, Emerson Royale at the back. But I know we didn't have Van de Ven for sure. We got Van de Ven, Romero. I definitely know we didn't have Madders back when we played you. We got Madders back now. Richarlison, when we played you, hadn't done his little 7 games in the last 7 games kind of thing. He was still Spurs fans were umming and ahhing, so he's coming to form. And then that is crazy. I mean, are there any? Because look, if not for the deduction, you'd be 11th or 12th. You would have had 28 points. Would you say, just hypothetically, because I know you're in the bottom 3, but would you have accepted that at this stage, or do you feel like Sean Dyche is slightly underperforming with the squad that he's got?
This is an interesting debate within the fan base. I think people forget that the points deduction happens slightly, or forget where we'd be without it, because obviously football's very reactionary and recency biased. I would be happy. I think I said at the start of this season, I would take like 14th at the end of this season. Just because you've got to build, we're not going to go 2 relegation battles on the run. Then the next season under Deitch hit Europe. That's, he's not a miracle worker. He's not going to turn, water into wine. Without the points deduction, if we were 12th now and we were talking, I'd be very happy. It's away from the drop. It's a stable enough bit that we can, the players can just go out. We could probably focus on a cup more. Probably could have put more effort into some of the cup games and really gone for them. And could have afforded to let the league, rotate in the league, let it slip a little bit. So I'd have took that, and I think wherever we end up at the end of the season, people are going to put the points back on mentally to see where we would have been under that metric, because that's the fairest results based metric, obviously, because the points were deducted, not because we've been not because of how we've played, it's because of what we've done off the field or haven't done. So. Yeah, I feel like he's done a good job, bearing in mind the squad is thin as well. I think people outside of the 11, we've got players, but they're not good enough. And these are players that our fans are like, why is he not giving them a chance? But 2 years ago, for the last 3 years, they've been given a chance and they've been going, God, I hate these. I hope these are out the squad soon. And then they're going, oh, why is he not giving them a chance? Well, for the last 2 years, you've said they're rubbish. Why would he? Sort of thing. So I'm happy with him. I know certain certain parts of the fan base aren't. You can never please everyone, can you?
Yeah, no, I totally hear that. And look, I think Sean Dyche is a good manager. I think it's unfortunate, and let's just be real. I think if that happened to Spurs and under Postecoglou, as great as Spurs have been playing this season, it does take the wind out of your sails. Anybody that wants to pretend, and I think maybe because of the way you reacted straight afterwards, I think you guys went on a bit of a run. People kind of forget, but really and truly, something so disappointing as points deduction for off the field stuff should, knock you out for 6 for a while, and then you stabilize, which you've done, and you come back. So look, from my perspective, from the last time we spoke, it looked like Spurs have been going from strength to strength. We've kind of maintained a level of consistency to find ourselves in and around the top half. I mean, we find ourselves 3 points off City and Arsenal, which is pretty amazing stuff, given we were missing pretty much our whole squad at one stage during the season. I guess from the outside looking in, are Spurs starting to look like the real deal? A lot of fans are telling me, don't get carried away, Dej, this and that. You're not in a title challenge. I was on a stream with Lee Judges yesterday, actually, the AFTV guy, and he was talking about the fact that he actually thinks Spurs are in a title challenge. He really does respect the work. But Connor, you as an Everton fan, I know, just a moment, take your hat off and look on the other side. Are Spurs a real deal?
I don't think you're in the title charge.
Bloody hell, man. All right, stop the stream. Stop it right now. No,
if I'm going to be real, I don't think you are. I think City will still have their post now run of good form to catch up. But I think, unfortunately, it's probably going to be Liverpool to see it out. I think it's written in the stars, sort of thing, with his last season as well. And I saw the Chelsea game, and results are going their decisions on the field are going their way as well, which is a little bit suspect. But I do think you are a good showing that you are a good top 4 club. There's no reason why next year you're not in the sort of thing. Like, I don't want to say you're in it because people thought Villa were about 3 games ago, and now I've noticed that was probably a bit premature. But I think top 4 this year is definitely achievable for you, and you are gelling well. I think he's just got a couple more player pieces in the puzzle to fill, and we'll see a better Tottenham next year with a few more pieces added. But you are a very, very good club, and he's got you playing some really nice football as well. It is high risk, but it's also high reward. And a lot of you, like Timo Werner, I like him. I liked him. I was really gutted when it didn't work out for him at Chelsea. But but he looks to be a different Timo Werner. Same pace, but I know he's got 2 assists, hasn't he, in the last 3 games?
Well, technically it's 3 assists. I don't know how the first goal to your doggy doesn't stand, because it's his ball into your doggy and then he goes on to score. But maybe because he had the first shot saved and then he shot the rebound. But he should have, in my view, he's had 3 assists.
Yeah, he's really good. I watched him against Brentford for his assist as well, and he just the pace he has is incredible. I saw him like running down the wing, and he's going to cause so much trouble for us. And obviously, we spoke about Richarlison last time, and I had nothing but praise to say, and you said it as well. And it's nice to see him, getting those flowers now. It's turning up for him. Yeah. I just hope he has a blank this weekend.
No, fair play. And Rainer said, if Spurs finish above Arsenal, then serious questions should be asked from Arteta. I would say, Rainer, you need to start asking those questions now. I can pretty much guarantee Spurs will finish above Arsenal this season. I just think the way that we play, Arsenal find themselves in a fortunate position, but I think the table doesn't lie, and we will start to see changes in the next couple of weeks. Trust my words. Mark my words, you heard it here live and direct first. So look, let's get into the team lineup, because we're going to keep this short and sweet. I'm going to talk about the Spurs lineup. The one thing we talked about, Connor, and it hasn't changed, and I think the game at our ground was kind of indicative of that, was the fact that we just always seem to get results against Everton, whether you play good or not. Because in that last game, you guys bloody did well. You deserved the win, if not a draw, and you end up getting beat 3-1. We're going out with Vicario ever present. Pedro Porros had the most minutes on the pitch with your doggy left. Van de Ven and Romero, what a centre-back pairing. Midfield, Bentancur, Madders, and I think Højbjerg has to start over Skip. I don't know why Skip is starting over Højbjerg. Although Senegal went out of the AFCON, and I'm not saying this to all the Senegal fans, it's a shame you guys have been knocked out, but it means Pape Sarr might be available for the game, because I think he left pretty much straight away. We've got Timo Werner on the left. We've got Kulusevski on the right, and Kulusevski was playing the number 10 when we played you. We've got Madders and we've got Richarlison. I think it's long. I think it's really, really long.
Yeah.
How are you setting up? Because you talked about injuries.
I think, to be honest, it hinders on if Onana is available. I think the back four will stay predominantly the same. If Seamus Coleman's fit, it'll be Pickford, Mikalenko, Branthwaite, Tarkowski, and Seamus Coleman. If he's not, I think he'll give it to Ashley Young. I don't think he's seen enough from Nathan Patterson to suggest that he should be getting the game time. Then I think he'll go the 4-4-1-1 he's been playing. I think he'll have Danjuma on the right, McNeil on the left. I know Decore definitely isn't available.
He's so no Decore, no Onana potentially.
Yeah, it's really thin on the ground. I mean, it could be a whole formation change, but just going off, if Onana is fit, it'd be him and Garner in the middle, and it'd be Harrison just behind Calvert-Lewin. But if Onana isn't fit, then unless Idrissa Gueye is back, because like you said, Senegal, unless he is back, it will be McNeil in the middle, and it'll be a really weird shape, and he'll have to go with what he went with last week. Against Fulham.
Yeah.
Which is great, but I just don't think McNeil's the centre mid. And like you said, you rob him of his ability of crossing the ball when you stick him in the middle as well. So yeah, it depends on Onana. It hinders massively on him, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's no easy games in the Prem, and your lineup this weekend sounds a lot weaker than the lineup that we had previously. So I'm thinking, the only thing that you do have though is that Sean Dyche is lover of underdog football. When the really chips are against the wall, that's when he pulls out a stunning result. And it means that Everton will probably adopt a really, really low block. I mean, I'm talking borderline, all the players on the goal line, that kind of football, and then try and hit Spurs on the counter. I mean, based on what you've seen so far, are you holding any positivity being at home? Do you think you can get something out of this game, or are you just giving all the spoils to Spurs?
I mean, realistically, unfortunately, home. I mean, the home form's picked up a little bit, but home form for us, our away form is a slightly. I think it might be slightly better over the season. I do have some optimism in it. I think I said for the first game when we first played, because I said going down to London, it's never gone well for us. So I said I hope they just play well. This time, I'd expect a little bit better because it's in front of the home crowd and it'll be a tough place to go for you to come. And I do. The only thing that gives me a bit of optimism is you play a very high line, and Postecoglou has shown he won't change either. There's so much space. If we've got Danjuma, who is rapid, his decision making in the final third is something to be desired, but he is quick and he does beat his man. And Calvert-Lewin is a lot better when he's got space to run onto. So will Beto when he comes. I think Beto is probably best with wide open spaces as well. So there is that possibility that we could catch you on the break. And like you said, just got to sit in that mid to low block, wait for you to commit yourselves and try and hit, especially with I think some of your fullbacks invert, don't they?
Yeah,
which
they
gives
do.
us space on the wide areas.
Yeah. I mean, our fullbacks invert as bloody number 10s. Udogie, Madders, and Porro bloody all play number 10 football. Look, I think based on the amount of injuries that you guys have, I think I'm going to go with a 2-1 Spurs. I think it will be difficult for us there. I think even the last game was very difficult, but I feel like if Onana doesn't play, you just, and then if Idrissa Gueye doesn't play, then I really don't see how you can survive, really, because we've pretty much Bissouma, we've managed well, and I think that's the thing that Spurs have done. We've managed well without them. So not having Bissouma is not a big deal. Not having Pape Sarr is not a big deal. Not having Son is not a big deal. I think Spurs are the third highest goal scorers. Who would have thought that Spurs is the third highest goal scorers in the Prem? Having lost the best striker in world football. But hey, here we are. Do you know what I mean? So I think Richarlison scores a brace against you guys on the weekend. 2 goals from Richarlison. And then we keep on. For me, I think it's important that Spurs win the game. I think for us, it sends a message out to the rest of the league not to write Spurs out of the league just yet. I'm not saying Spurs are going to win the title this season, but what we are going to do is make sure that we're part of the conversation for as long as possible, and that's what we're hoping to do. So we need Spurs to win the game, and we're right in there. The other thing that people haven't quite looked at, and Mark, I think you make a really, really good point. He says if Spurs win and Liverpool drop points, Spurs are title contenders. Spurs fans generally like, but you're right. I think Spurs are title contenders now. Lee Judges was trying to shut me down. Lee Judges reckons if Arsenal lose on Sunday against Liverpool, they're out. And I'm like, how can they be out and Tottenham be in if we're going to be on the same points? But I have a suspicion that the Liverpool-Arsenal game will be a draw, which means that Tottenham will find themselves 6 points behind Liverpool. And if you're 6 points behind top, surely, Connor, you would agree that you're fully in the mix.
Yeah, mathematically, yeah. But like I said, I'm almost certain Liverpool will, just because I've seen this before. But I also just looked at City's form, because it is this time of year, and they're on 4 wins and a draw, and they've got Brentford next. And if they win, it puts more on. You're mathematically in it. I just don't know if you've got the stamina to see it through and push. I think Liverpool, not last year, and it really pains me to say this because you can tell this isn't biased, but I think other than last year, them and City have been a slight degree above the rest. I don't think Arsenal were. I think they did well, but I didn't ever think they would win in the league last year. I thought that was far too premature, which was shown to be right. I think City have got to be commended for the stamina they show at this time of year.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think City are just the best team, with Liverpool just slightly behind. And then slightly behind that, I would put, Spurs and Arsenal in that bracket. Arsenal fans, because, let's remember, Arsenal were only good last season. The 5 seasons prior to that, or 6 seasons, they were pretty dusty. So I'm not going to start shaking my bum for Arsenal after one good season. Do you know what I mean? And right now, Arsenal are 3rd. So, Do you know what I mean? So I'm not getting too excited for them whatsoever. No, Connor, thank you for stopping by. Lunchtime special. Like I said before, it's always a pleasure. I hope your team do lose on the weekend, but I also hope that you stay in, because I'm looking at it, and you guys now, and we can just touch on this for maybe the last second. You're in a relegation dogfight. How are you guys coping? How are you coping with this? What do you need to see now to get you out of this now? I mean, stating the obvious, you just need to win. But with your next few games, what are you hoping for points wise?
I was going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say 3 points at the weekend would help. We've got the table's so tough because Luton deserved, by the way, to pick up the points because they'd lost a couple of games that they were in against tough teams like Liverpool. So their run of form changing is deserved because the metrics showed that they were playing better than their results show. But we've got to hope that either they slip up or they get an injury because their squad is still quite thin, or Forest get caught into this. And we've got to pick up points ourselves, obviously. We've got City after you, which is another tough game. But then we've got Palace, who I think are beatable. Then we've got Brighton, who I think can be beatable. We beat them 5-1 last year. I think Brighton are fantastic if you press them, but if you lay off them and let them have the ball like Luton did, like we did last year, I think they're susceptible. And then West Ham. So after the City game, I think there's at least 6 points to pick up there, possibly 7, possibly 9. I mean, I'd love to say all 9, but it's Everton, so I'm going to go with like 7 points, 2 wins and a draw somewhere there.
Yeah.
And then just hope Luton and Forest get battered by their next 4 opponents, and just cause a gap again. I think we'll be in it till the end now. That's how it is. But we just need to create another cushion because we don't want to go to the last day like we did last year. Because I think you get lucky once, but I don't think you get that lucky twice.
Yeah. Well, Connor, I really hope that. Look, I think let's hope for that. I hope so. What we're hoping for is you lose this weekend, you lose against Man City, and then after that you pick up hopefully 7 to 9 points. Look, thank you, Connor. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck on the weekend, mate, and hopefully we'll catch up maybe towards the end of the season.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers. Thanks again.
Done, yeah. Done,